All started going off. Okay. So I'm gonna do cards for Michael Monkey Vaughan. He's been on my mind lately. I've had a few visions of him. We did his astrology today. I've done his astrology chart. I'm gonna see what I get done today. I might not get it all done, but all the ways to support me are down below in the box. Remember, we have the Otter Spirit bracelet necklaces that are pure gem. And I wasn't gonna record this yet, but the balls were going off. So there's been a lot of activity today. Wait till you guys see everything that I've come up with just the astrology we did today alone and all the validations we had. Keep in mind that I'm going to just use the cards because I've done a reading on him before. The visions that I'm getting, I kind of get the idea of what happened, and I'll let you know what I feel. So keep in mind, though, past, present, future can come in the cards. Things are symbolic, metaphoric, not always literal. And it's how we perceive it. It makes the most sense of it, okay? Come in around the case. And at the end of this, I'll show you the mapping that I did. We'll see if I get any visions. I'll let you know what they are. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Viewer discretion is advised. This is for entertainment purposes only. So I want to mention that I did do Michael Vaughan before, but I did it live. And I remember seeing him walk out of the house and so I knew that he had left the house on his own accord and that the parents didn't do anything or the dad didn't do anything to him. But then I kept talking about how I was having a hard time connecting to him. I was having a hard time connecting to him. I couldn't get anything from him. It switched to a kid that was being held and was alive, and I just couldn't get anything on Michael. So I don't know if because I couldn't get anything, I was seeing something else in the area. There could be. I don't know if there's anybody else missing. By there or close to there. I always get everything for a reason. So usually if I'm struggling to pull somebody in, it'll go somewhere else. I do have to mention that. So I've left it for a couple years, and it seems that whenever I come back to a case, it's for a reason. And whenever Mercury retrograde is getting ready to come into back in, especially with what's in my chart, I tend to go back to old cases. And I always feel pull back to them at the time I'm going, like when it's time. So I have been thinking about him for quite a while. And remember in the live, I had such a hard time connecting. I had a really, really hard time connecting. So I don't even think that I only got bits and pieces of him. And then there must have been something else interfere. I don't know. I can never know. I never know. Always learning, growing, and evolving. I'm not perfect. So I wanted to take this up again because I just wasn't. I do know that they arrested people. I do know that they let them go. I do know that they did dig in a yard. Okay, so those things I do know. I try not to know anything. But if I get pulled back to a case, regardless if I know anything or not, I'm going to work it. And so the one thing that I want to say is the reason why I decided to pick this back up is I was out taking care of the goats, and all of a sudden it was like I kind of saw Michael, and then I saw a car coming at me with lights. And it repeated. And he had been who I've been thinking about. And so basically tonight we were doing astrology and we were looking at his chart because I've done his map. And we did several readings. So I'm going to have several readings to tell you about, or several things to tell you about. There's a lot of information that I've gotten that is totally helping on those cases, that is validating. I don't know if that was Spirit or the cat, but so it was very interesting because the balls were going off. We were getting EVPs. We were validating with the chart, and the chart does validate this. But I had already told her kind of what I got. There's not a whole lot to get. I haven't. We'll see if I get a location. If I see a location, as I'm telling you right now, if I have to Autowrite, I will. I'm trying to keep my mind out of it and just use the cards, because the cards, don't use your thoughts, right? But what I kept seeing when I was talking to her was kids leaving, going throughout the neighborhood. I feel like he was lost, and he might have been close to a crossroad. I accidentally pulled these. These aren't even in the right spot. When he was hit and ran. So what I was seeing is when I was talking to her that it's like I step off the sidewalk. It's dark. or getting dark. It's hard to see. I feel like someone wasn't paying attention, and I feel like they were drinking or on something, on some sort of substances, which also came in the cards, and I'll show you in just a minute. And I feel like he was struck by this vehicle. It was very instant. It was an impact, and all of a sudden I can't breathe. So I do feel like there was a panicking moment, and I feel like this was a spot where maybe there wasn't much seen. There's a place on the map that I'll show you where I don't know if he would have gotten that way, but his the descendant goes through there. So I'm just wondering if that's the road, because I feel like it was an area that he maybe gotten lost. He had maybe gotten lost or turned around, and it might have been like a crossroad, like maybe there was a stop sign or something of that effect, or a crossroad was coming up. But I feel like I kind of step off the sidewalk. I'm walking into the road, and all of a sudden, the last thing that I see are headlights coming at me. Okay, that's what I keep seeing over and over and over, which I've seen for a couple days. So when I pulled up the chart and I asked her, she said, "Yeah, this does look like it could be that a vehicle could have hit him." And all of a sudden my throat hurts and my head hurts. But she was saying that yes, a vehicle could have hit him, and there is definitely a woman involved. So I think that they did have the right people. They just don't have the evidence, unfortunately. If we could find him, that might change. But the Black Moon Lilith is in the descendant, so this is an evil female, and there's some male energy there, so they both might know. And what's interesting is what I pulled in the cards right now. So I feel like, though, that maybe he wasn't deceased, like maybe he was barely alive, and they panicked, and instead of taking him to the hospital because she was drinking on substances, they both were. There's a reference to that, and I that is also in the chart, that a person drinking, driving in the neighborhood, or under the influence of something in the neighborhood, because of where the Pisces and Neptune is in the chart, in the fourth house. So there's a panicking. I don't know if one of them, I hear warrants. I don't know if one of them had a warrant at one time. I don't know if this is at the time that this happened or whatever. Can't stop. So it's like I feel like there was two people in the car. So I don't know if she was with her boyfriend, but because it's interesting. I didn't feel that before, but actually I pulled the cards, and I'll tell you why I feel that right now in a minute. I just want to kind of keep with my thought process here. So it's like they throw him in the back seat. I feel like I don't know why, there's a light that's like, there's like a street light, like one street light right now that I'm seeing as I'm talking to you guys, that's like over this one specific spot. So I don't know if he's highlighting the spot. I don't know why I'm hearing 8th. I don't know if that's a significant spot, but I'm also drawn to that Crescent Park for some reason. I think that's what it is, or the park that's right there, but I'm hearing 8th. So I don't know if it feels like they panic and throw him in the back, but I feel like they took him to the house, and I got the strangulation card and it kept popping out, and then I'm like, I don't understand this, and then I was shown they might have finished him in that way because they didn't want to take him to the hospital. They didn't want to get caught. She was drinking and driving, and let's just act, let's pretend like we know nothing happened. I feel like, they didn't want to get caught taking him anywhere because there's people out looking for him. So their timeline is off. I feel the timeline is really off in regards to this. So whenever they said they took a car somewhere, I'm kind of wondering if it wasn't the car that hit him that they took to be repaired, and that they're lying about the time frame. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's corroborated, but I feel like there's lots of lies around this, and there's lots of like just bullshit as far as what they've said, and they've made this pact. It's kind of like in the chart as like a cult, and I pulled the cult card, so I find that funny. So I don't know if their own little like cult in their house, or if they are part of something like that. I'm not really sure. But there is something specific to that in the chart. So I also don't know if they're religious in any way or whatnot, but or a different kind of cult. I'm not sure. But I feel like at that time they buried him in the backyard with chance to move him later, because they knew people were out looking for him and nobody had seen anything. But I keep seeing this light, so I don't know if they had street lights out there. There's one street light that I keep seeing, like on that specific spot. It's really weird. My head hurts really bad all of a sudden, and my throat. So I feel like that's what the strangulation card is. So basically, we got this lost, crossroad, hit and run. Only they did run, but they took him with them, and he was running away or leaving. But this is homicide, freedom, death. He's missing. Homicide again, different card. Accident. So I'm wondering if the reason why I keep playing the homicide and accident is because he was hit, but then they kind of finished him in a way so that he couldn't, so they didn't get in trouble. But he was running away. This is why I'm thinking dating and argument over death. My cat messed this up. Over death. And there's like imprisonment, as far as I feel like imprisoned in maybe the situation. And again, the cult card. So there is 3 of them, but I don't know in what, like, it's also kind of pointing that way in their chart, which is kind of weird. And then the strangulation, drugs and poison. I don't really have in this one. I always say substances, could be alcohol or drugs and poison, and he was missing. Okay. Or he is missing. So that kind of validates all of that. But I feel like there was an argument at some point where they were all freaking out. They're all freaking out on what to do. So there was kind of an argument about that. Or I feel like a panic. Like it's like I am panicking. I hear them yelling at one another, and they're panicked. They're panicked. So, I feel like I'm wrapped in something though. Now, interesting enough, there's this Saturn is in Aquarius, so it's either going to be a rocky area or like by a dam or water source, something of that nature. I'd be curious, and I'll show you the map. Because Kuna, which I looked up to see if there was any place that they were known to go to, or see if my lines go that direction. And I don't know why I didn't pick this up before. Maybe he wasn't crossed completely. Maybe it just needed to be the right timing. Maybe the energy needed to be just right. I think Uranus is in retrograde in his chart, which it is again. So the interesting thing is, a lot of these ones that I'm working on, that I've worked on, it's like returning planets in the same spot. And he's got a lot of retrograde planets, so that's why it hasn't been found. They got like really lucky with this. Lots of retrograde planets. Okay. So what I'm having a hard time with is seeing where he's at. I did pull that. So Aquarius does rule power supply. It rules, because his Saturn, I think, is in its ruler. Let me see real quick. So Saturn is in its ruler of Aquarius, which they kind of rule similar stuff. Aquarius, like Capricorn, in general rulership over deep wells, quarries, mines, and places that are involved in the extraction of minerals from the earth. Under the traditional rulership of Saturn, it's also signification over land that has recently been dug. As an air sign, Aquarius relates to places that are often high off the ground, above the general eye line. Outside, it signifies hills or land that uneven or with eccentric skyline. In the 19th century, it was given significance over aviation, aeronautic experiments, and apparatus that relates to it. I still consider it to relate to airplanes, airstrips, airports, air traffic controllers, or airplane hangars. Anything related to aeronautical engineering, and even the fact even airline companies individually and as a whole as a sign of the water barrier. It is also descriptive of locations near natural or man-made sources of water supply, fountains or springs. This would mostly include smaller bodies of water that remain relatively still and are rather shallow. In the city, this refers to mostly retention ponds and man-made fountains. Inside, you don't need to do inside the house. West by north. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. But anyways, the cards, I'm having a hard time seeing where he is for some reason. I think I had a hard time before too. Crossroads, home, okay. Power supply, which is very Aquarius. Portal, which he did vanish. I just noticed, and sometimes this is water, but it did vanish. Outside, bones, river, mountains, which is again Aquarius. The church I find interesting because the cult thing, that could be location or some other reason. There could be stuff in the landfill. Some sort of tunnel. The desert, which is a sandy area, not necessarily the desert, but a sandy area. Water could be nearby. Hidden. Frozen, because it's really cold in Idaho. Underground. And neighborhood, which he was neighborhood, burial, private property at one point. So that just shows he was there at one point. Those all came in together. Interesting. Neighborhood, burial, private property. Water supply. I pulled the underwater card, but I'm not seeing him underwater, so I don't know. There is one spot that I don't need to pull a whole lot of cards on this or do a whole lot on it. Basically what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing was she hit him and they tried to cover it up. But I feel like there was a trip taken at some point prior to the cop. I feel like they started freaking out because they felt like cops were getting close or getting paranoid, like they knew they couldn't leave him there. Either the cops were knocking on the door close by or something of that sort, or they were they were out there looking and they thought, we got to get him out of here. Maybe they seen dogs or something and they're like, okay, we got to move him or we can't leave him here. Like, it felt like it was a short term. It's supposed to be short term anyways. I feel like he was wrapped in something like a blanket or something of that sort, because I feel like I am covered in some sort of quilt or blanket. So I'd be curious. There wasn't a quilt or blanket that was missing from their property, and I think that there's something to do with a repair in a car that's not completely. I feel like there was hair and blood on. I hate to say that, on the light. So I'd be curious if a car didn't have a light changed, because I'm seeing a headlight with like blood and hair on it. Hair stuck to blood. Sorry, viewer discretion advised. So I'm seeing that right now. So I'm wondering if somebody had a light changed out that we're not aware of. And I'm wondering what kind of car, because so Mars is in Leo. So that Mars is the vehicle. So it would be like a Leo car. So Leo is kind of more extravagant. It can be red, orange, gold, something of that sort. I can't see it because it's dark when I have a hard time seeing with him. It's like, I don't know why. Maybe because it's dark outside and I'm kind of seeing it from his perspective, and maybe he doesn't truly know where they moved him to. I'd be curious if there wasn't a headlight changed in one of their vehicles, or if their vehicle is a nicer vehicle that is one of those colors that would represent Leo. I wonder if school makes sense. I don't know if the school is around there. I don't know if that's like where he was hit at or where he would be now. So it's mixing where he was and with where he was moved to. There's got to be a landfill for some reason. Either was evidence in the landfill. I mean, I don't think they'll find it now, but we have landfill again, man-made disaster, which this was a man-made disaster. But it's interesting. There's an airplane there, so not for what Aquarius rules. Desert, so a sandy area. Tunnel again. So that could be under a road or something too. The tunnel. This is literally under a road, or on a road. I mean, under a bridge. Wooded area. So wooded area, that's like, you know, just area where there's trees. It doesn't have to be huge. Road again. So he could be very much by a road, hidden. But he was also hit on a road. So, I mean, double meaning sometimes with cards. See, home. I keep picking up this home burial inside neighborhood, which he was. So that's just validating that. There's got to be water nearby him. There's a lot of water out there. Wonder about the school and where they work, or anybody works. Mountains again. So I know Idaho is kind of mountainous. Which that would rule Aquarius. Above ground, outside, random area. Vehicle. He was taken in a vehicle. He's also hit by a vehicle, but there might be a public building close by. Home, dumped, proper burial, and buried and stored. Because he was buried and stored when he was at the house. So that's why that's coming in like that. I find that interesting. It keeps popping in the cards that he was on their property. So that's just validation that he was there. We already know it, but I mean, it's coming up in the cards to validate that. Basically, since I kind of have an idea of how this happened, I'm going to know how to perceive these cards. So we have a stranger. Okay. So you can take a false person as like they're not who they pretend to be. Not always. It's not who it is. It's not who they pretend to be, because they pretend to be a friend. So false person, friend. It's interesting. Spouse, partner, rival, couple. So I got the couple card already. They could have been in the car together, Sarah and Stacy. Interesting though, when we were doing his, I have to tell you guys this because I almost forgot. When we were doing his chart and we were talking about it, Sarah popped in the EVP. Just saying. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, but her name did pop in the EVP, and then I think he validated with the ball, but I'm not sure. There's a bad guy that is a female, which is Black Moon Lilith in the other house. In the Black Moon Lilith is in his descendant line, is in his 7th house of perpetrator. So that makes sense. It's the bad female, bad guy that's a female, but it's a couple. And they're all family, right? They're a reptilian. There's one that's like playing like the good guy. And I think the reason why he left is because parental figure is kind of being a little bit of a terrorist while he was drinking. Aliens. So I always get that with like a different race, which one of them is Hispanic. An accomplice in crime. That's a spouse. So he did help in some way. And he could be lying. Spouse, partner again. Police know, and they are family because I think that they're all three act like they're family. One person was maybe younger, or this could be him already. One person is a child, but multiple people are involved. But it could mean that one of them's younger too. So I'm kind of doing this a little different than normal. I'm giving you what I'm seeing and what I've seen and what I'm seeing as I'm doing this, and I'm giving you what we found out from the astrology, and I'm doing the cards to validate it. I don't know. I just wanted to do it this way. I try different ways, as you guys know. I'm kind of seeing an overpass, and what's interesting, it's kind of like a freeway overpass, and I'm just wondering if that's like the tunnel. Getting tingles on my head with that. And I'm wondering, because there's a place on the chart we were interested in, or a place on the map we were interested in. So, it's kind of interesting because I'm seeing like a freeway, but it's like higher freeway. So there would be like, you know how the tunnel, like roads go underneath. So he could be by like a tunnel overpass freeway, which would. The only thing is the place I'm looking at isn't very rocky like Aquarius would be, but but I think that whole area, like Idaho is like all mountainous, right? But Aquarius rules more rocky mountainous areas, which there is some lines that go in that direction, but this one it goes to a specific place and it is by water, like water supply. It's by a water supply place. I just don't know if he's in water or not. I'm struggling with that because I'm not seeing everything. These are the murder mystery cards, so these kind of came out interesting. So we have crime will be solved in the distant future, which is interesting because I'm taking it now, and there's a car on it on a road. I find weird. Okay. It's like a kind of like a sports car. Take a closer look at one of the suspects. So I feel like they had the right people. That's the way the chart plays. That's the way it's coming across. Because we got the buried in the yard. That was a place that they dug up. Cell phone records may provide important clues. So I don't know if they've looked at that yet. I'm sure they have. Forensic science field will provide important clues. So I found that interesting because of the hair and blood they keep showing me on the headlight. There could be more too. Killer profile indicates narcissist sociopath, which I feel like she is. Victim didn't know the killer. In the future, the killer may admit guilt. And I wonder where they worked, because it says killer worked in the area and strange phenomena involved, which this really was kind of strange. I hear screeching tires now. Yeah, I think he accidentally stepped out in front of a car that she wasn't paying attention, she was under the influence. And I feel like he was almost deceased and they just didn't want to. They couldn't leave him there. I don't know why. Get rid of the evidence. I feel like maybe because when there's hit and run, sometimes they can go and find the person if they know, but they probably made it look like he went missing instead because he was off wandering alone. I don't know how much sense that makes. But I'm going to show you guys the map and kind of where I'm interested in. I already mapped this thing and then we found kind of something today that's interesting. Then I got to get going. I got to go to bed. So I'm learning to map this all by myself. And I am barely touching the surface of this, right? So we would want to look at Saturn and we would want to look at the moon. But Saturn kind of areas, let's see, that's Pluto. This one's Saturn right here. I want to make sure that you can see me. Oh, nope, that's the wrong thing. Where the hell did I go? What the fuck happened? I was confused for a minute. I have too many things open. Let me try to close some of this stuff. It's from looking up stuff today that aligned with cases. Okay. My throat. Okay. I'm having a hard time with this thing. Nope. Fuck. Undo that. I'm having issues with this thing. I don't know why. Hold on, I figured this out. I'm just gonna have to leave it like that. When I try to change the thing, it does something weird. I don't really know why. I'll try to zoom in the best that I can and show you guys. So what I find interesting is, so I want to show you this too. So this could be a little bit of a mapping area. It could be off. You can go 5 degrees either way, right? But the midheaven goes right by their house. And it's hard to, you do this while you're eyeing it. So pretty close. It's right there. It gets right there. So, you know, pretty darn close. This kind of scares me that there's an overpass over a river right here. Which I know I got the border last time. Kind of chills in my head. Yeah. Unless they thought maybe they were worried he was gonna wash up. I don't know. It kind of worries me the river's right there. I know I've gotten that before. I don't know why they would take him down here unless they were just worried he would wash up or something. So first I want to show you the Saturn line. So it's 10 degrees this way, or 10 miles this way. So air miles is a little bit longer. Keep that in mind, okay? But what's interesting, it does hit, or no, this is Pluto. Crap. That's 25 degrees. Oops, I had that wrong. Sorry. I keep getting them mixed up because they're both black. Okay, this one's Saturn right here. 10 degrees Aquarius. So you would add like a 0 if you want to go further, shorter. It's interesting because I think this is alfalfa fields, which is something I picked up before, but I don't know why he would be there. But it might not be exact because of the... But see, Aquarius doesn't really rule this kind of stuff. So Aquarius, since we got in the cards, right? I'm thinking the moon line is more right. Me and Carly were looking at this today because you always want to look at that, the co-ruler. Plus, he was under 5, so it's 25 degrees Pisces. But let me tell you something that's interesting about this one. I'm going to show you something that's really interesting about this. So what's interesting is it goes really close. There's a couple parks here, but there's a water treatment plant right here. And look, there's an overpass. And I am just learning how to map. I could be a little off, but you have to eye it. And I'm hoping to figure out, I don't know. I'm probably going to lose my trial period on Scribble Maps before I can figure it out. I haven't been able to really figure it out. There is also an airport here. So this is very like Aquarius area. It's just not huge, not like really rocky, right? But it is sandy. I find that interesting. And then, but what's interesting is they went down here to Kuna. Okay. Look at what's on the way to Kuna. The spot right here. Now, if you add a 0, it'd be 250. So it's just more like on the way, right? I'm really drawn to that star for some reason, but I don't think we have any. Chiron 12. So that'd be 120 miles. I think that would go too far. But star I'm kind of drawn to a little bit for some reason. I don't know if it's just the name or not. So this is interesting. So let's zoom into here. This is very Aquarius area, and it's on the way to Coon. Let's see. I want to say that's where their mom lives or something. Hold on, let me check something. Because I'm pretty sure that I marked that for a reason. I just want to make sure I know why I marked it. I want to correct myself. When I first looked at that, the aliens, okay, that's just another race. I thought the guy was Hispanic, but he's not. He's African American. The one other guy. The other one has blonde hair, which is very Leo-ish. There's 4 of them, not 3 of them. So that's the multiple people, kind of a cult if they all live together, friends, couples, whatever. I don't know if they're all sleeping together or what. So there was a male and a female, I feel, in the car together. I'm not sure which one, but the Leo would fit the blondish hair. That's for sure. But she was the one driving because of the Black Moon Lilith. And it feels very female around, which I never felt that before. It's kind of weird how sometimes when I don't feel things before, and I'm not just saying that because she was arrested. It's in her it's in his chart. So, but I was seeing that before, but they have the right person because of all the cards we just got. And Sarah came in the EVP. The only reason why Kuna kind of doesn't make sense, because if he was buried for a period of time, this says that Wanda said he, Sherdoff, and Sarah Wander left their house and headed to Kuna to tow Sherdoff's car between 5:30 and 6 p.m. on July 27th. He blew a spark plug and couldn't drive the car. I don't know. There's something fishy with it's either the not the right. Did they have more than one car? Confirmed that they came to Kuna more than once, so they did go check Kuna. Oh, okay. There was people walking around 8th Street. I mean, I just think there would have been evidence of something, but for some reason, Brandon and Sarah decided they'd go look for the boy and was in the process of getting the vehicle detached from the truck because it was taking up the whole length of the street. So I did get a truck. I think truck could be Leo-ish if it's stylish. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Wonder if I don't. There's something wrong with the time. Okay. So I don't know why they would have him in the yard and then go there. So cops have been there a few times, so they're thinking that for a reason. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit. I want to see if I feel anything. I mean, what's interesting to me is there is an overpass there. There's electrical there. This is very Aquarius. Look, there's lots of little ponds, which is also Aquarius. I can't breathe. There's railroads, Aquarius. There's a bridge. You can hit the balls, Michael, if this is the right spot. That'll help. Because there's also a treatment plant here. This is very sandy. The thing is, I don't know if they're counting Idaho as mountains because, again, Aquarius can be very rocky areas, which we do have a couple of spots. These ones that go into the rocky areas, right? There's lots of them that go into rocky areas because it's all Aquarius. I mean, it's going to be an area they know. I'm curious where they work, where any of them work. If any of you sleuths out there find out where they work, I want to put it on the map and see if it hits anything. And remember, not all these lines are going to be where the body could be. It could be places that are relevant to them and whatnot. And remember, it is air miles, so it's a little bit further. And these could be a little off because it's just you're eyeing it. It's usually 5 degrees or so either way. I don't know. I did the best I could. I was pretty tired. Okay. So I mean, I just little freeze out. Interesting because of the cold. I don't see them going through here. I feel like they're too lazy for this. I feel like they're too lazy to be in a like I just feel like they're too lazy. I don't really want to go up, but there is a stellium that way. I mean, it's like super sandy here. I don't understand what these areas are. Are they just sandy areas? Like, I'm trying to see if I feel anything anywhere. I'm sure I'll feel a headache or something. Hopefully. I mean, here's another overpass. I mean, I kind of don't feel good here. This is wild. I don't understand if it's just sand, if this is private property or not. I don't know. You guys' land is weird out there in Idaho. I've never seen it before. It's interesting that the Neptune and the moon line go in the same direction. Oh, I was going to show you. So, this is what I was wondering about. Like, it could be any of these lines where he was hit at, but Black Moon Lilith line is right here, and it's only a mile. It's 1 degree. Oh, look, there's the school. I wonder if I was getting the school. He could have been hit by the school. Look at this. School, school, school. Unless they're saying, like, he's buried in, like, interesting. The Black Moon Lilith lines goes right through the damn school. But, I mean, I don't think... They don't want him found, so... But I'm wondering if he was hit by the school, if he got lost, because I pulled up the school. I, like, can't breathe all of a sudden. This was the park I was kind of drawn to, which is interesting because, you know, there's these roads and can't breathe. I was gonna say, I wonder if they hit him on the way back, but I think there's something off with the timeline. I mean, there's a water treatment plant right here too. Oh, we don't have any lines. Well, yeah. I mean, they would go where they know. So, I mean, all these go up into the mountains. I just don't think they drove like crazy far and all that, you know? Um, I'm gonna have to get off here. I gotta go to my mom's early in the morning, or try to, and I gotta try to get around for bed. But I don't see how they would get out there, honestly. I mean, the one that kind of does make the most sense, right, is the moon line. I would check this area right here because I do keep wanting to go back. I kind of wasn't sure before. I was kind of pulled to other areas, but now I'm just wondering. Because this is very Aquarius. And the interesting thing is there's an overpass right here. Railroad, also the crossroad has a railroad on it. But so I think things can have multiple meanings, and I'm just wondering about I wonder if he's in one of these. I don't know. Do these ponds have any sort of there's a treatment plant. Do they have any sort of surveillance or anything. I don't know anything about this area. Maybe you guys can tell me. There is an overpass there. Fucking headache. I do have a headache here, guys. I do. Should be any reason, but I'm just wondering, they could have pulled off. I don't like map. Look at this. Is a tunnel. The tunnel card came in twice. It was twice. I don't know if that's water though, but still, it's still a tunnel. It's still a tunnel. Oh crap! The Chiron. I gotta fix it. It says it's 12 degrees, but I only went 11 miles. Oops. My bad. I just don't know if he's in water or not. He very well could be. Which makes shit harder, huh? I don't know. I don't know if they could. I mean, look, there's electricity right here, an electricity plant. Like, this is super Aquarius. And I mean, I could be a little off on the line. I mean, it looked right, but who knows? I was tired. So I'm wondering. I'll have to pull up the map again and see if I'm completely right on that, because I might be it might be a little off. I don't remember. I was super freaking tired when I did it. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in this area. Me and Carly were both interested in this area. Just because I think they're too lazy, and it would be on a way to where they're going. Now, if they've went and checked Coon, they must think that, they have enough public building. That also came in. These are all kind of, this is like a industrial area, I guess, is what it looks like. Riverside, it's just come in so much. And it is sandy. Look at all the sandy areas. I just don't, I mean, it's surrounded by like Rocky Mountain areas. I don't know. Now that I've looked at it more, I kind of can't. I just got the chills. I'm kind of pulled to that word Cadwell. I just get pulled to random words. I know. I just not like any other place really makes sense. I mean, I just don't see him going like the only other places. No, I want to know where they work. I want to know where they work. This is the other area I was looking at. This Payette wildlife area. I was kind of looking there too. That's where the North Node goes. And Gemini, she's two-faced. I just don't think that any of the other places, and you can always, I think, bring them in shorter, but I think it's interesting that these go towards Kuna. I think that's really interesting. I'm gonna check something really quick, and then I'm gonna try to end this. So I did a rod session, and I wasn't really sure, like, if I was gonna do one or not. I just wanted to see. It gave me 25, 26 miles south, which is it says here. It gave me yes to Caldwell. It didn't say he was in the water, but close to water, off a road. So I would check this area. I could be wrong, but all of a sudden my teeth hurt here. There's lots of sandy areas. You could be buried or just barely buried. I don't know how much effort they put into it, just barely covered. The rods aren't saying water. I'm not seeing water. That doesn't mean like he's not in a boggy type, I don't know, area. or something like that. If he is, it'd probably be more like by the river, but like there's a pond reference, and I don't know, like I know things always look different on maps. So could be by a public building because, or there would be one in the around there somewhere. I asked if he was currently on a private property. I got no. I see that there's residences here. Oh crap. I don't know. I find it really interesting. I know it looks so much different in public. But told me south and told me about 25 miles. It would be, this is only 25 degree. I think we have, I don't know. I'm gonna cough here. So this is the area I'm interested in now. Or close by here, anyways. I'll let you know if I get anything else. I think that's the one that makes the most sense for Aquarius, and yeah, other than this one over here. But I feel like cops feel like they went to Kuna at some point or something because they searched there before. So my head hurts. The back of my head hurts. So if it's not him, there's some other thing in that area. But I mean, that's where my rodser's basically taking me for the 25, 20. I mean, I wasn't even looking at the degrees and it took me there. So, anyways, that's kind of basically what I got for you guys today on this. Make sure that you, like, share, and share if this will help, and subscribe. If you don't want to share it, just please copy. And also, I have merchandise. I have astrology merchandise if anybody's interested. I have a really cute idea for another one, but I'm going to be having sweatsuits I'm trying to get done before Christmas as well, because I know people would like that. Some girls talked me into doing it on live. If you would like to tip to the channel, all the information is down below. If you would like to schedule a private reading, all the information is down below. And I have a lot that's going to be coming that I'm behind on, maps and whatnot that I want to show you for different cases and cases that we worked on today. I want to tell you what we got, old cases that we revisited today with the astrology and with the mapping and everything. I'm so excited because my readings are validated, and I might have some areas to look at. So I thank you guys so much. Oh, I was gonna say my dog's, I guess she canceled class on me now, so she's not gonna be doing them anymore. So I have to find another one. And he has to get his, I'm probably only gonna be able to afford to take Justice for a bit, and he has to get his rabies before I take him, but he's getting fixed next week. So there's a place that I found in Tucson, so I want to continue it, and do the best that I can. So all right. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time. Dang, did this longer than I wanted to.